opponent.
Look, somebody once came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to him, Ya RasulAllah, عظني, give me advice. Wa'adh is usually, it's the kind of advice that is really long-term and more abstract. As in, it could be unsolicited. It doesn't have to be specifically about, a current issue. عظني Ya RasulAllah, give me some guidance for life. Now, you'd think the Prophet would tell him, worship God, look after your mother, things like that. The Prophet said to him, لا تغضب, don't get angry. Then he says to the Prophet, okay, what else? The Prophet said, لا تغضب, don't get angry. What else, Ya Rasulullah? For the third time, the Prophet said, don't get angry. And if you think about it, many of the problems that we experience in our lives, many of the marital disputes that end up in divorce and much heartache and pain and misery. Like imagine, many of the issues that we have between siblings, between parents and children, between colleagues and partners and whatnot, they all stem from anger. In other words, if you were the kind of person who was like a punching bag, sometimes people use that in a negative connotation, I'm the punching bag of the family. So what? Be the punching bag. I'm not saying that the other side that oppresses you and hurts you is doing the right thing. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be stopped. I'm not saying that they're not committing an evil act. I'm just saying from your perspective, how do you react? How are you supposed to respond to all of this abuse, so to speak, right? You pretend like they don't know any better. I'll give you an example. The other day, this person sent me a long message about how their mother has been oppressing them and abusing them, abusing as in emotional abuse, right? Which is like a new thing now. Emotional abuse is grounds for divorce. This emotional abuse that I've been experiencing from my mother since I was a child. And the person is an adult now. And they were telling me like, you know what? The other day I just decided to muster up the courage and just walk away. So I left the family, I left my mother, I left my brothers and sisters, and I went and I'm independent. And for the first time in my life, I'm happy. So I said to them, okay, let's spin this around. Let's say this wasn't your mother, but your own children. If your children were being emotionally abusive towards you, would you also just walk away? Would you abandon them? Or would you stay no matter what and try and fix it? You would, wouldn't you? Because they're your kids. Like, how are you going to abandon them? If you abandon them, who's going to take them? But see, the difference between these two scenarios is just a mental switch. If it's my kids, I'll stay and fix it no matter what. But if it's my parents, if it's my husband, if it's my wife, then I couldn't care less. The first sign of trouble, and they run for the door. So if it's just a mental switch, it means that you have it in you to withstand all of this and to fix it, right? Or at least to be patient and see it through. You have it in you. You choose not to do that. So when it comes to anger, we all have it in us. As we've seen in the example of the Imams alayhim salam, how they were subjected to unspeakable abuse. Let's not even go there. Let's not even compare what they went through to what we go through from our own family and friends and our own brothers and sisters. Do we have it in us to actually be patient and not burst out and, as you described it in your scenario, to just unleash all of this anger in response to what they have done? Of course we have it in us. It's a process, however. It means you train yourself. Just like you train your body to pick up heavier weights, right? You train your soul, you train your mental reaction. And you constantly remind yourself, as Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam, and other shuhada in Karbala did, this whole, what do they call it in English? There's a word for it, affirmations, right? These affirmations go a long way. يا نفس من بعد الحسين هوني وبعده ما كنت أو تكوني هذا حسين وارد المنون وتشربين بارد المعين. Oh self, oh Abbas, we can all do this, right? When you wake up in the morning, you know that your husband's going to say something that's going to, ignite the fire. You know your father is going to say something, your mother's going to say something. Constantly remind yourself, Ya Mahdi, it's okay. whatever they say, just ignore it, just be nice, just smile. We could use these affirmations to strengthen ourselves, and eventually